All right, so here we go. We have Fast and Furious call on just overview of what Plexus is through a couple of us sharing our stories. So, Kimmy, do you want to take it away? Or was it Rachel going first?
No, you're good. I was just looking for my mute button. Okay, I'm gonna read this because I will go over. If I don't, I will talk for the full 15 minutes. So I'm just gonna read it. So, hi, my name is Kimmy, and I am a senior gold ambassador with Plexus. I've been here using Plexus for about little over 2 years. And I was a stay-at-home mom for 25 years when I found Plexus, and I was perfectly happy being at home raising my kiddos, and I never wanted more. But in the fall, when all three of my children went away to college at one time, which is a long story, I sat in my very clean teenager-free living room and said, okay, what now, God? But we need to go back before that because I had suffered with horrible anxiety and panic attacks for 14 years. And was going through menopause right along with that. And so, along with the usual symptoms of insomnia and anxiety and weight gain around my middle, I developed a really odd numbness and tingling sensations in my feet that no doctors could diagnose. So, honestly, I think it was related to menopause as well. But I will also say, this might be TMI, that I had not really pooped well since giving birth to my first baby. I needed surgery after my first two babies to help move things along that way. And I still thought it was completely normal to only go every 3 days. So I had multiple food sensitivities. After a bout with long COVID in 2020, my stomach acid was like 0. And I had horrible bloating and discomfort anytime I ate. So I lived on Gas X and I was taking supplements, but nothing seemed to be working. So I had seen people post about Plexus, as most of us have seen people posting with their pink drink, and I thought it was all about weight loss and that it was probably full of chemicals. I mean, it's pink, right? What drink is pink that doesn't have the chemicals? So I rolled my eyes and I scrolled on by. So when I saw my good friend Melissa posting about it, and this was in February of 2022, I honestly did not think much about it. But then, maybe about a week after I saw her post, I saw her face to face, and the change in her was incredible. She was off of 9 meds in 2 months, and she was literally glowing. And I had never seen her look that good. So I decided, okay, if it's doing that much for her, I'm going to give it a try because her story gave me hope. I don't honestly remember being skeptical, but I do remember after a couple of weeks at being shocked at how good I was feeling. My energy was soaring. The bloating was literally gone within a week. And you guys, I mean, when it was gone, it was like 4 inches off my waist. That's how bloated I was. It was bad. And so, my fast food cravings went away. I'd been addicted to fast food for years, and I could actually go to the bathroom every day without fail. So within a couple of months, all the anxiety symptoms were gone, and they have not returned at all. And around month 4 or 5, I started sleeping very soundly and dreaming again. I hadn't dreamed in a long time. And with the continued use of Plexus Ease and Nerve, that really addressed the numbness and numbness and tingling that I was feeling in my feet. And now I only feel it on really rare occasions. So to the business side, I honestly had never really had a problem with network marketing companies. A lot of people do, but I think the majority of them are really great companies. My parents, at different times in their adult lives, had been part of network marketing. They had done Herbalife and they had done Stanley. And my mom sold Jafra Cosmetics back in the 1970s. That's an old company, but I think they're still around. And I even had a short stint with Mary Kay before we had children. So I was curious to know what the culture of Plexus felt like because they all have a different culture. So I sat in on a few Zoom meetings and I was very warmly welcomed. My questions were answered, and I felt like I had found something truly unique. What I did not expect for myself was to actually be successful at this. Did not expect that at all. I started sharing about my journey early on, and people started messaging me about it. So I got a few of my family members started, and it went off from there. But I will tell you, it has taken consistency and grit and self discipline, but it has been worth it. Not only does my monthly income pay for our family's products and more, but I earned my very first company incentive trip last February to the Dominican Republic, and we sat on the beautiful beaches, and I have never felt more um, pampered and loved by a company. So, and it was all on Plexus Dye. So this opportunity and community are not just the answer to my prayer of what now, God, but it has been the answer to countless prayers for other people's health and financial freedom and career flexibility. I'm so grateful to God for bringing this into my life. And I'm even more grateful that I said yes. So he works in ways that you don't expect through people that you don't see coming. So I'm not just happier and healthier as a wife and mom, but I get paid to feel amazing and help others do the same. So this girl who never wanted a career has been blessed with one that fulfills me in ways that I never even knew that I needed. So thank you. And now, am I handing it over to Rachel?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm gonna
go
go
for it,
next.
Rachel.
All right, your story is beautiful. I've never heard all of that before, so thank you for
you.
sharing. Um, so I started Plexus about 3.5 years ago. I started because I am a colon cancer survivor, and I went through 6 years of chemo that just did a lot of damage to my gut, to my whole entire body. I was left with vitamin deficiencies and acid reflux and all kinds of foods that I couldn't eat, or foods that would leave me in excruciating pain if I did eat them. I also had a little bout of uterine cancer that led me to have menopause super early, and gain about 35 pounds as soon as I started taking those hormone replacement pills. So I was very much miserable, and I was researching gut health and probiotics and prebiotics. And I had been talking with my sister about how we should probably start taking care of our guts a little bit better, because obviously my colon tried to kill me. I should be nice to it. And that she should probably do something too, because we share the same genetics. So, right around the time that we started talking about that, I got a message from one of my very dear friends from when I was about 16 years old. And she asked me if I'd ever thought about trying Plexus. And I told her, that's crazy timing, because actually we were just talking about it. So, I talked to my husband. We prayed about it. We did not have the room for it in our budget, because cancer is a very expensive thing, even years after the fact. They told my husband when I was in the ICU that the number one side effect of cancer is bankruptcy. So we have very much a shoestring budget. So we prayed about it. We decided to make some sacrifices for 3 months just to see if I could feel a difference, or if it could help us in any way, or if I could even notice it. Because of my cancer, the type that I had, and the surgeries that I've had, my body doesn't absorb things like the normal person does. And that's why I had so many vitamin deficiencies. So I kind of thought, yeah, right, we'll see if this works, because nothing does. So why would this? However, after about maybe 2 weeks, I noticed that I was sleeping through the night and not having to get up so often. I would have energy throughout the day. I could miss a morning cup of coffee, and I stopped even needing my afternoon 2, 3, or 4 cups of coffee to survive the day. I stopped falling asleep on the couch at night watching TV with my kids. My kids are a little bit older, so they're teenagers, so they do a lot of TV, they do a lot of sports. I had the energy to get them to all the practices and to all of the games without driving through Starbucks every time I passed by. So that was huge for me. I knew that my body, I always say my wonky body was absorbing it. So, flash forward about a year, we track my blood work every 3 months because of all of my cancer stuff.
And over that year, we watched my levels come into the normal range for the first time ever. My doctor told me that it just is what it is. You've had cancer, you've had so much chemo in your body. You're just going to suffer. Your blood work's going to be off. It's just fine. That's just whatever. We'll just put you on medicine to try to regulate it. We'll take you for B12 shots to help you regulate it. We'll do all the things just to treat all the symptoms, but the cancer's gone. So this is just life after cancer. But over that first year, all of my blood levels came into the normal range, and they're still there 3 years later, 2.5, 3 years later. So it's just been such an answer to prayer, something that we never expected to happen. We thought that this was just my life after cancer, life after chemo. So absolutely an answer to prayer. I feel like I'm a walking miracle because I'm living the life that I wasn't supposed to live, whether through cancer or through the health and the effects after the cancer. On the business side of things, I'm also a senior gold ambassador. I kind of happened upon the business because my friend Carrie, who helped me get started, just said, "Hey, what do you think about making a post with that pink drink?" And I was like, "Okay." So I did. And I found so many people in my circle who were hurting or suffering in silence and not saying a word. And so being able to relate to them and help them to feel better too has just been so fulfilling. Just fills my cup, makes my heart overflow with joy, and gratitude that I can be part of helping someone else to feel better. And my income pays for the products for myself, my daughter, my son, my husband, and has also helped us to actually start paying down the cancer debt for the first time ever. We thought we were just going to drown in it forever and just live that way. But this is actually allowing us to slowly but surely pay off those bills, and to stop relying on my parents for those types of things. So I'm just completely grateful for all of the health benefits and the change that's happened in our lives, from the health standpoint and from the financial standpoint. So I'm going
That
to hand
is
it back to Hannah.
That's so beautiful, Rachel and Kimmy. Thank you for sharing. Those are powerful stories, and I don't think I've heard the full thing. Thank you for being open and willing, because I know that will bless so many people who hear it. My name's Hannah. I started Plexus 7 years ago, and I was looking for a high quality multivitamin after being through a couple pregnancies and being postpartum at the time. I had a 6-month-old baby when I started. I spent 4 months researching the products because I wanted to make sure there was nothing harmful, only things that would be helpful for me and my baby because she was nursing. And I was like dumbfounded with the things that I found. I'm a nurse by trade. And so this idea of prioritizing our health in a natural way versus like all these band-aid fixes that I would see so often in our Western medicine, where it's like, oh, you have reflux, let's do antacids. Oh, you have like I don't know, just like so many, like you have sleep issues, let's do a sleep aid. Like there's just like all these quick fixes. And I love the idea of addressing the gut microbiome, decreasing the inflammation, balancing blood sugar, increasing nutrient absorption. All of those things are like pillars for our health. And that's why when this sounds too good to be true, like how is it fixing all these things? It really truly is because when you are balancing these parts of our body, so much more happens. Um, but things just start working how they're supposed to. And so I worked out, I ate well, I didn't anticipate any changes. And then I noticed after I was taking the products that my energy was like life changing. Like still to this day, I remember walking around in so much brain fog and feeling like I was going to fall asleep at the computer with my eyes open. Like I was just so tired. And so when I would like come home from a 13-hour nursing shift and I was ready to work out, or I was ready to like clean up the kitchen and just not crashing, I was like, this is different. Like something is so different. The other thing was my sugar cravings were out of control. I had bags of candy in my work locker. I had chocolate stashes. And if I didn't have a sweet treat, I was getting in the chocolate chip bag with peanut butter and felt so guilty, but I had to have something. Okay. That went away. Like I remember passing donuts in the break room, or I wasn't digging for the treats at night. And I was like, okay, this is not normal. Like this is not how my body has functioned. The other thing was I was constipated and backed up. I just accepted that as normal as well. So when I was regulated and I just felt awesome and I could see that there was a difference. My milk supply took off. So I had always dealt with low milk supply with my first, and then at the time with my second. I since have been through a third and fourth pregnancy, postpartum journeys, no issues with milk supply, amazing pregnancies. So recognizing that hormone balance component has truly impacted the way that I have lived as a mom of 4 children. And I'm so grateful. And a part of that excitement of how I was feeling, I was open with my journey, sharing things I was learning, sharing how I was feeling, and it truly impacted like other people who were struggling and allowed these vulnerable conversations where I would hear about other people who have these major issues. It's not table talk. You don't hear about it. But then when people are like willing to open up because, hey, I saw you posted about that and I'm dealing with this. And so it lit a fire in my soul to help people. And then when you have the products and a company that does things the right way, like with network marketing, that was just, I don't know, you can have some weird feelings about it, but then you recognize how well Plexus does this, and they are such a like beautiful, generous company, backed with integrity. And so I never felt icky or slimy sharing what I do, as does our team. Like we just do things well. And so we pride ourselves on that, on not just like spamming people. And this company rewards so generously. At first, it was just to cover the product cost, because what an awesome way to prioritize your health and not have to budget it in. And then afterwards, it started to like plant some ideas of like, okay, well, what if we were just to cover like some extras so that like the extracurriculars for my kids were covered? Okay, what if this was now like mortgage and groceries? And then it became this like, we have another income stream, and I'm going all in with this. And here we are, like, we are going to climb out of debt. And we paid off all my husband's dental school loans. And this is, again, 7 years, right? Like, this doesn't just happen overnight, but this is my story. And where we are now, it has changed the trajectory of our family and our future and where we are, where we've come from, and the ability now to have financial freedom, time flexibility. I stepped away from the hospital and working my nursing shifts to be home full time, homeschool my kids. Travel as a family of 6 is not cheap. Feeding a family of 6 all day long is not cheap. And so being able to provide that for my family by doing this, by getting on and sharing what Plexus is and helping people get started, and um partnering with this, like, it's just such a beautiful picture. And so I know that a lot of people are just like, oh, I don't know if I could do what you do. They have a lot of fear and doubt, and I just want to challenge you to think best case scenario. Like, what if this does work out? What if you do take a chance and these products do change your life, and they do change your family's life and your friend's life, and Plexus does reward you generously, and you create this other income stream that then changes the trajectory of your family's future and offers that wiggle room that so many of us desperately need. Like, life is expensive. That is not a secret. We all could use some more money, and everyone could use an opportunity of just, whether it's a side gig or full-blown business, like, it can help. And I know it can. And we are a team that has this awesome culture and community. We help people to do what it is that we do, so you're not out on your own. And I just want to tell you that you are not stuck, and challenge you to think of the idea of like having choices and having options, because it impacts your family just as much as it can physically as it can financially. So that is our quick, in a nutshell, fast and furious, what is Plexus? And I hope that you have been encouraged and inspired tonight. And get in touch with the person that invited you, because they care about you and they want this for you too. All right. Good night, everyone.